We got a lot of people in here.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live, Season 2, Episode 24, Droneless Summer, with my co-host, Ron Brown. Ron, how are you this evening?
Very well tonight, Bill. It's kind of hot and humid here in New Jersey down here at the shore. I'm hoping you'll send some of those cool trade winds from Florida up here to cool us down a little.
Well, the only winds I'll be sending to you will be the hot. It would be more hot and humid coming up your way. Our other co-host, Marcus Crawford, is unfortunately on suffering in vacation in Las Vegas, Nevada, visiting family, and we wish Marcus a good evening and hope you're having a great time there and enjoy yourself and get away from the strip so you can be able to fly drones. So he's on the strip right now. So with all that being said, I want to greet people tonight. Ethan Mitchell's in the house, FSU grad, Kyle Knox, Grumpy Vlogger, Welcome Lloyd, Drone Master, Lauren Downhour, Scottish Drone View, Whizbang99. Let's see who else. Peter Carroll and Tuan Lee, Desert Rat Porter. Welcome to everybody. Thank you guys for showing up so much tonight. We got a lot to talk about, and we're calling tonight's episode Droneless Summer, and there's a reason for that. First of all, I want to get into some kudos. Congratulations to Ken Dono, Original Dobo, for hitting 12,000 subscribers. Ken, you do a fantastic job on your channel, whether you're talking about a gimbal for a camera, whether you're talking about a drone, whether you're talking about, filters for a drone. You go all out, and your cinematic videos are some of the best, if not the best, out there on YouTube as far as drones are concerned. So kudos to you. Thank you for what you do. You've been a great friend to me. Contrary to what other people may think, Ken and I are great friends. In fact, I spoke with him tonight on the phone, and he and I could not get along any better. He's fantastic. And again, kudos to Ken, Original Dobo. If you haven't caught his channel, wake up out of your Rip Van Winkle sleep and go find it. Okay, that's all I have to tell you. But again, kudos to Ken for that. The other thing I want to share with you tonight, and this is off the topic of drones completely, but it means a lot to me, and I wanted to share this with you. You may have seen this picture out on BillTheDroneReviewer the other day. Okay, so we just had Father's Day. Now, my father's been gone since 2007, and I'm still blessed to have my father-in-law. He reminds me a lot of my father. Fantastic sense of humor. But anyway, I'm going to share with you something that is absolutely incredible here. And if any of you know what's going on here, this is my daughter, Victoria, and her husband, Andy. And coming up on June 29th is her due date. And you can tell she's very ready to have the baby, according to her. So want to thank you for all your well wishes and thoughts and prayers and everything. Keep them in prayer. It's going to be a huge life adjustment for them. But I'm going to be looking forward, and Valerie and I, to going up there about a week after the baby's born to spend some time with them. And I'm going to vlog the whole adventure, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that with everybody. And thank you guys again for that. So we're going to go ahead and move on here. All right. Got that. Got kind of like the announcements out of the way. This Sunday afternoon, Rotor Talk Live. Hope you guys caught Sally French last Saturday. Sally is absolutely fantastic. And again, Sally, thank you for taking time out of your unbelievably busy schedule to spend a few minutes with us on Bill the Drone Reviewer. If you haven't caught it, do go back and catch it. Sally is incredible, and she's an incredible ambassador for drones, both male and female. She's one of the best that we have out there. Support her. Visit her blog. Visit her. She's very active on Twitter and on Instagram. So I do suggest that you go ahead and definitely check those out. This Sunday, we're having Sunday afternoon Rotor Talk Live, and especially to my friends over in the UK and Ireland and everything. This is gonna and of course Europe. This is why I do it at 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. It's a reasonable time frame for you. I'm going to be talking with a gentleman. His first name is Ian, and no, it's not my friend from Southeast England, Ian. This is a different one. He actually runs a organization similar to Remote Pilot 101 that provides training for drone pilots over in the UK. So we're looking forward to talking to him and this will be on Sunday, and I'm going to be posting details, and I'll get everything out there so you guys can check this out. But it's going to be on Sunday at 2:00. So if you guys get a chance, you definitely want to watch. This is going to be real interesting, and especially, in terms of comparing, what our laws are like, what their laws are like, what they have to go through to get their commercial license, and what we have to go through. So it's going to be fantastic. So, okay, all that being said, all right, now, okay. All right. Ron, I would like if you could give us a brief Zino update. I know Marcus would happily jump in and do that, but I think you know everything that's been going on lately. Why don't you fill us in on the latest with firmware-wise for the Zino?
Thank you, Bill, and I want to wish you a belated Happy Father's Day. I heard you had a good one Sunday, so I just wanted to mention that. And happy belated Father's Day to everybody out in the chat who happens to be a father. So the Zino update. I'm going to say almost 2 weeks ago, they updated to 11.52, which is the latest flight controller version. And this one added a couple important features. The most important one being the speed controls. Before, the Zino always flew in sport mode. You couldn't slow it down at all, but now you could slow the horizontal, the vertical, and the yaw speed down. I mean, you can slow it so far down that this thing like flies like a rope in a small space. I mean, it's incredibly control flyer at those speeds. So that's the home run. That's the feature that we've been waiting for. I've been bugging Hubson for a long time for that feature. So that's a complete 100%. It makes the drone usable to get smooth cinematic type video. And the second important feature was I'm ranking them in order of my personal thing. The phone album feature actually works. Before, it was there for a while. Like almost all drones, DJI, even TUI Wi-Fi drones have an album, or if you take the video and the pictures, you can look at them on your phone instantly. Well, it never worked in the Zino, and in recent firmware iterations, it wasn't even there anymore. But now they've resorted, and it works. You just have to connect your to the Wi-Fi on your phone to the drone. Now, it was reports that it's not working as well on Android, it's working well on iOS. And to wrap it up, and kind of like the big thing, the Zino now has precision landing. And you may ask, well, how can a drone doesn't have downward-facing cameras and optical flow sensors have it? They use the regular camera, which has like the follow me thing where you draw the box around. Anyhow, you have to have a landing pad. It identifies the landing pad and uses that for its precision landing. Now, it's still in beta, and it's a hit or miss. It seems to not work as much as it does work. Marcus found a secret, though. If you use the blue side of your landing pad versus the orange versus the orange side, it works better in the blue. So people are having mixed results with it, but I'm sure that the improvements Hubson has made over time, that they'll get it, in a couple more firmware updates down the road. The camera gimbal seemed to work is better than ever, and it's at $250, which you can find it most times on sale. It's a highly recommended buy at this point. But also, we got a new competitor, the FIMI A3, which was announced about the same time as Zino, but just recently has become available easily to the general public. It has a 2-axis gimbal and a 1080p camera, but right now, a lot of resellers, including Banggood, have it for only $229. If you want to know more about it, watch last night's episode of ZinoNation, which was FIMI Nation, and it was co-hosted by Brian Singleton, who told us all about it. So I'm going to throw it back to Bill now.
I tell you what, the more I hear Brian, the more I like him. I got to say this, Ron, he was fantastic last night. I did watch. I didn't have a chance to engage in the chat. But, the thing I like about Brian, okay, he looks at, I'll use the word dozens of drones, okay? And you know what? He will tell you straight away, yes or no. Okay, there's no gray for Brian. Okay, he says he either is a big fan of the drone or it's a turd, in his words. Okay, and that's what I love about him. He's very honest and he's very upfront about it, and he's a great reviewer. You need to check Brian out. I don't know if he's on or watching tonight, but it's True Drone Reviews. Brian does a great job, so you need to check out his channel. He really does. You know, I can't say enough about that. So, John Coopy's in the house. John, welcome. I saw you here. Thank you for showing RD Drone Reviews. Daddy of 13's here tonight. Again, welcome. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you at our new start time. You know, we're trying this out, see how it goes. Brad, welcome. Thanks for joining tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the Smart Controller tonight. We haven't heard a lot about the Smart Controller, but Ron has a few things to share with you about it, and then I have a few things. So why don't you go ahead and take it away again, Ron?
Okay, well, thank you, Bill. I wanted to upgrade to the Mavic 2, this spring, because I wanted it for summer, and Bill DeDroneReviewer and Bill Thomas both advised me on it very well. And at the end, I was advised to get the Smart Controller. Well, the thing is, if you didn't already have the Mavic 2, like I was still flying a Mavic 1, you could get what they call the the Mavic 2 Pro with Smart Controller bundle. And with this bundle, it was only $1,800. So with the drone being
$14.95 for the drone.
The Smart Controller was much more affordable buying it as part of this bundle than it was separately. And this price, as I last checked, it didn't go up with the tariffs. Like when you buy it alone, this thing still stayed the same price, the bundle. So again, Bill highly recommended it to me on a show that we did with Marcus. We had a special episode called Bill the Drone Advisor, or Bill the Drone Consultant. And so I went out, I purchased it, and I had a few initial bumps in the road with it because I had trouble connecting to my Wi-Fi network. It wouldn't get past step 3, and I contacted DJI through Twitter, as Bill suggested, and they weren't a lot of help. They told me I needed to change my Wi-Fi network and password, but I have like 15 or more smart devices hooked up to it. I wasn't going to do that because, obviously it wasn't the network's problem. It was this controller's problem. And look, Bill and I have matching cases. I bought this case on Bill's advice. We're twinsies.
Yes.
Amazon, but $15.
Yeah, mine was the right price from.
Yeah.
This is, I know Ken Dono brags about his cup of coffee mug from Rick Smith, and I have one too. But you know what? This is gold. This was from Rick. This was a gift. This was like a gift from Rick here. This case, and this case is golden for the Smart Controller.
So anyways, I actually what I wound up doing was I eventually connected to my phone, which didn't work at first too. But I changed the password on my phone, and that eventually let me connect it to the phone. And people told me to reset it and all that, but the problem is you had to get past screen 3 to reset the device. You had to connect to the internet, the register, before you could do anything. But with the phone, I registered it, and at that point, I upgraded the firmware, and I tried to upgrade the firmware without getting past screen 3, but that wasn't effective either. But anyhow, I did, connect to my phone. Then I upgraded the firmware, and then I was finally able to connect it to my house's router, and so I could get the Wi-Fi there. And even at my new house, which was my second house at the time, I was able to connect to the network. So anyhow, all my issues, I made a couple of videos, have been resolved. Now I got it connecting to everything. And I picked up this nice case for it off of Amazon, off of Bill's recommendation. It's very affordable, has all the cutouts and grooves you need. And then I also picked up the strap on Amazon. It was like whatever. I'll put links in later. It was the most, the one Amazon recommends. It has real nice, these clips, like, you have on high-end cameras, and it came with these little screw-in things. So if you have one of these, you definitely want to get a strap because it's heavy to hold in your hand for a almost 25 to 30-minute flight with the Mavic 2 Pro. And I'm very happy with it. Bill was exactly right. I stood on the beach one day at 3 in the afternoon and flew the Mavic 2 Pro, and I could actually see the screen. I could never say that flying with my phone before. You know, so this is perfect in bright sunlight. You know, but I want to throw a con in there. My con is like when I get it started up, at first the camera settings are unresponsive. Like if I want to change it from aperture or shutter priority mode, I have to actually get up and fly for maybe a minute or two before the camera things get responsive. And I don't know if that's, I mean, I'm on the current firmware and everything, so I don't know if that's anything I'm doing wrong, but again, it just seems a little unresponsive with the camera settings when you first get started. But I'm going to throw it back to Bill and see if he's got any updated impressions of it since we last spoke.
Well, you know, I did, you know, when Rick also sent me a lanyard to go with this too. And I have to say, you know, having this on a lanyard makes all the difference in the world. One of the things that I want to say is this is I have to say this. Out of all the drones that I've had, and I'm going back to the Autel X-Star Premium, going to the original Mavic Pro and the controller with that, the Spark, the Mavic Air, my Mavic 2 Pro, the controller with that, and then the controller with the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. By far and away, the sticks that I like the best, and this is just something, you know, just the responsiveness and the feel. I mean, you know, I know these are probably very similar to what's on the Mavic 2 Pro right now, but these sticks and the responsiveness from this, it probably has a lot to do with the software. It just, Ron, to me, it just blows me away. I am just so, the movements are precise. I mean, you know, when I'm tapping this down, you know, it's coming down. You know, when I'm doing the throttle, when I'm moving it forward, it's going forward. I mean, you know, there's no lag with this. It's just, it's extremely responsive. That's one of the things that I've noticed through my use of this. One of the other items of note, and I won't call it a con, I'll just call it a need to be aware of, and I think I've mentioned this before, is that you need to make sure that after every time you fly this, you need to plug this in and charge it up, because it does eat up a lot of battery. You know, that's the one thing. And I think Ken Dono talked about this as well. And I talked with Rick Smith, and he said, you know, one of the things you could probably do is get a portable battery pack, like, you know, either from Anchor or Rav Power or something, you know, and run that down, you know, like I wear cargo short jeans or shorts, you know, throw that in your cargo shorts and, you know, it's running. You don't have to worry about it at that kind of point, because, you know, if you're in the middle of a flight and it shuts down on you, it's like, ouch, you don't want that. So that's one of my only things is it does eat up a lot of battery. And my biggest advice with this is when you're done, no matter if you were out there 20 minutes, if you're out there an hour and a half, throw it on the charger, get it going. The other thing that I wanted to say about this too was with the SD card, which, you know, I'm going to show, here's a slot for this right here. You know, it takes some, I won't say getting used to, but in terms of being able to copy things, like for instance, you can do screen recordings and you can copy it directly to this SD card, which is fantastic. You can record your flights on here, copy it to the SD card, and then get it over to your computer. You know, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do a video on that, because I know I've had a lot of people, I get a lot of questions via email, and that's one of the questions I've gotten several from. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do a video on, you know, transferring files on the SD card on the Smart Controller, because I think it will definitely pay off. Now, one of the things that I have to say, bar none, that I really like about the screen recordings on this is, compared to, say, when I record them off my iPad mini, the sound will not be in sync for 100% of that screen recording. But with this, the sound is in 100% sync, and that's, you know, it's absolutely fantastic. I wish it was like that on the iPad, but it's not. But again, you know, I got to echo everything that Ron's saying on this. All right, want to kind of
before you get off the Smart Controller,
go for it.
I do have a few things. I wanted to ask you, how many flights do you get out of a full charge on the Smart Controller?
I've heard, and this is just for, I've heard about 2 hours, an hour and a half to 2 hours you can get off the smart controller.
Okay, so that would be maybe four flights.
I would say probably a good 4 flights. Yeah.
Right. And another thing for people to know, you charger, it's a slow charger too. I mean, it takes, when you put in that charger, it could be charging, it could sit there for hours or whatever. So it's very slow to charge up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So, when, like I said, one of the first things you do when you get back in, throw it on the charger. Just do it.
And I look forward to that video you just talked about making about the transferring the files and the screen recording. So I'll be the first one in line to watch that one, Bill.
It's how far have I flown, Curtis? I have to take on the Mavic 2 in general. I have to go back and take a look at my stats. I don't know. Not as far as Billy Kyle has. I know Billy publishes stats.
Billy Kyle's record, yeah.
Yeah, Billy's like what? I don't know how many times he said he would have flown up Everest and back and stuff. It's just like this crazy number. It's just like insane. So, but yeah. With the new remote control. If I have to ballpark it. Distance wise. Okay. I haven't gone, I fly in my backyard all the time, Curtis, and I don't go, the furthest I've gone has probably been about 2,500 feet, 3,000 feet with it. And the signal's very strong. It's very clear. So I haven't had any issues with that. So just
let me chime in, Curtis. On Memorial Day, at the shore, I flew from the Margate Pier to the Ventnor Pier, which is about a mile one way. And I flew, it had no breakout whatsoever. It was this FPV, everything was rock solid, the whole mile and back. Of course, I'm over the ocean, so I have, of course, no Wi-Fi interference or anything. And everybody had left the beach by that point. This is like right before the sun went down, so there wasn't even any cell phones around. But said signal was rock solid for a mile. And
yeah, Curtis. Yeah, Ron, I agree too. It was about 2,500 feet, almost 3,000, and yeah, it was stellar. It was absolutely crystal clear. The only real issue that I've had, and I've actually had some people compliment me, is I did a video on how to do a YouTube live stream from the smart controller, and it's a little different. They have a temporary fixes to download a third-party browser, and the one that I recommend downloading is Opera Mini. And to do that from Opera's website, don't do it from, I think it's AKA or something, or DAK or something like that. Just do it directly from Opera's website when you get onto the browser. I think a big part of the problem is you really need to be around a strong Wi-Fi signal when you're doing a YouTube live stream with the smart controller, because there's been some days it's been like I've had no problem getting on, and there are other days it's just like, the wind's in the wrong direction for the Wi-Fi signal. It's like for some reason there's maybe something in the atmosphere interfering with it. I do know ham radio a little bit, and I do know about interference with radio waves, and this is what this uses radio waves. So there's some pros and cons with that, but DJI still has not put out a fix for that yet. It's that browser that they supply with it, and I have to tell you, the browser sucks. I mean, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The browser that DJI gives you on that, but get a good browser. This Opera Mini browser has worked fantastic. It's getting a strong Wi-Fi signal, so that's where we're at with that. Going to switch gears here a little bit, and thanks, Ron, for this discussion. This was good, and this will, you got a taste of what some videos that I'm going to have coming up. One of the things, where DJI sale is ending tomorrow on the 19th. All right, and I think it's already ended over in the UK and in Europe. One of the big items that was on sale was the Mavic Air. All right, now. We also found out through Drone DJ that the Mavic Air was on sale at Target. Now, I actually had somebody actually posted on one of the sites here, and I'm going to go ahead and show this. I'm going to share this with you. I didn't believe it until I saw it myself, and I was like, "This can't be real." Well, it was real. Okay, and this you can see right here. This is a Mavic Air. and you can see right here the clearance it was $799, now $399.50. And you can take a look. There's the tag down there on the shelf with the UPC and everything. So this was apparently, per not that I want one, but the Air just got reduced to 50% off at a Target out west. That's $399. I don't know if this was specific to this Target or they were doing this out west, or it could have just been a one kind of a deal, but this is what it was. Now, what was the price they were offering, Ron, at Target?
Well, DJI, of course, had reduced it to $679, and Target advertised $549 online, and I guess in stores too. Now, back to your $399 one out west. When Marcus and I first saw that post, the same post Bill just posted here, we sent out our top staff member at ZinoNation to go down to his local Target store, and he lives out west in Oregon. You may know who I'm talking about, but Marcus. So he drove, as soon as he saw it, he drove out to his local Target store, and they did not have it, and he called a couple other Targets in his area out west, and none of them had it. For $399. I don't think the Target he went to, they didn't even have any left for $549, because that was a tremendous sale. They were blowing them out at $549.
Yeah, they didn't. Your honorary member of ZinoNation here, your technical consultant for ZinoNation, he went out to his local Target here, and they didn't have it. And then he checked inventory, and he said one of the other stores in the area did have it, but it was at the normal, not at the $549, not the $399 or the $549. It was back up. It was off sale. But what was real interesting was he was told by the electronics manager at the store that Target corporate told them they're not to be expecting any more of them in stock. So that's just some food for thought right there about the Mavic Air. And, the Mavic Air is still on sale. If you still want to get $120 off, DJI still has it, and it's good through, the 19th, tomorrow at midnight Eastern, and whatever that translates to your time zone. Just, that's when it expires. So just to let you guys know that. Now, there was some other news today, and this is kind of like where I'm coming up with, and you'll see why I'm calling this Droneless Summer now, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and share the article, and then I'm going to go ahead and let Ron talk about this first, and then I'm going to interject with this as well. Now, we all remember that, hey, Kesterlu from Drone DJ had put out an article about the Spark 2. Well, there was an update today, and I'm going to go ahead and share that update. This is update 6/18/19. We've received word that the Spark 2 launch that was scheduled for July 23rd has been postponed indefinitely. An industry insider told us that DJI sent out a memo last week stating, due to a shift in priorities, the July 23rd event is now on hold until further notice. Unfortunately, no information was provided explaining the postponement, nor was a new date announced. So, Ron, what are your thoughts regarding all this?
Well, we all had speculated that the Spark 2 was coming this summer, and whether this article's correct or not, they'd speculated the same thing. The article also even lays out the features they think that's going to have, and if it was coming, it's really a shame they pushed it back from that late July date, because it's the perfect summertime drone, and probably they probably have their biggest sales in the U.S., especially in the summer. So that if they push it back to the end of August, like they did the Mavic 2, I mean, they're probably going to miss millions of sales because of the timing. A lot of the U.S. by September, the weather's turning for the worse again. I mean, people like Bill in Florida fly year round, but there's a lot of northern states where September means the return of the cold weather. So I really think they're going to miss the boat if they have this and they don't release it in time to take advantage of summertime in the U.S. Many people travel to the beaches and the mountains, and that'd be the perfect thing for first-time drone users and families looking to get nice family shots. And it all plays, like Bill laid this out a couple of months ago. It all plays in that if the Mavic Air is actually discontinued, which that story, I mean, when somebody sells something for $549, a big box retailer drops the price way below what the company's selling it for and basically unloads it. That says something. That says, you know, they're clearing inventory. They're getting out of the Mavic Air business, and maybe they're going to replace it with a better product from DJI. So this is all very interesting. What's your thoughts on it, Bill?
Well, you know, it really, you know, again, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. You know, especially here in the summertime. Now, if you look at the original promo video that came out for the original Spark, what did you see? Or what kind of, you saw young people? I mean, you saw teens and 20-year-olds out there, you know, enjoying the Spark. And when is the prime time to do it? It's summertime. And even though it would be released in late July, it would still, you know, a good month, maybe 2 months of summer, you know, as Ron talked, especially up north, you know, when come September, when the weather starts to change up there, you'd still probably have a good maybe 2.5 months of being able to use it. So it would still fit into a time frame. Now with it being postponed indefinitely, per the article from Drone DJ from Hey Castello, you know, that just opens up, you know, a flood of questions. You know, we have really no idea what's going to happen here with this now. You know, and again, Ron really hit a real key here is, you know, their number one sales would have been here in the U.S. and especially, you know, aiming them at young people, which is what the Spark 2 would be aimed at. And, you know, coming out and say maybe September now instead of July or early August, you know, that's going to put a real dent as far as sales are concerned. So, you know, something's going on that we don't know about, obviously, or, you know, or you know, what Hey Castello found out, you know, might not be accurate, but he has a tendency to be accurate more often than he isn't. And, you know, the group that he's with, the 9 to 5 group, as far as like the Mac and the electric tech, you know, all those periodicals, they do a good job and they're reliable. And Hey is reliable as well too, and he has good sources. So, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see what comes of this. You know, and hence the title "Droneless Summer." You know, would that mean, you know, because if you take a look at it, let's go back to last year. Okay, the last 3 releases from DJI released the Osmo Pocket in November. They just released the Osmo Action. They released the Smart Controller in January, and then they released Osmo Action in May, and then they just released the Robomaster. Okay, so out of those 4 releases, 3 of them were not drone related. So, you know, is there a shift because of the tariff and issues with having to pay that extra price? Don't know. I mean, you know, it could be that maybe DJI is temporarily doing this until the United States and China work out a trade agreement where there's no more tariff on it, so they can be able to sell them at the prices that they want to sell them for.
Check real fast. We have somebody in the chat. His name's Jet Martin. He's and he told me a little information. You could read his comment here. It's one of the recent ones, but he told me a week or 2 ago that he got a piece of information. I won't say where he got it from. That there could be a Anafi V2 coming out in July, and Jet speculates here that maybe, of course, DJI knows this is coming too, and they may have pulled the Spark back because maybe this, you know, they got to react to what the Anafi version 2 is coming out with, just like they did last summer when they maybe pulled the Mavic 2 Pro and Zoom back because of the Anafi.
You know, it's very true. I mean, you know, think about it. You know what Jet Martin said there too. You know, pulling the engineers to work on the Robomaster. You know, and I think Ken Dono had a live show on recently, and you know, he talked about this in great detail. And again, guys, go check that out. He did an excellent show on this. You know, are we at a point where we have, and I talked about this with Sally on Saturday as well, where the drone market is so saturated right now, and you know, as you know, Ron and I were talking, you know, Billy Kyle had mentioned, you know, DJI hits every facet, you know, going from the Spark all the way up to the Inspire. You know, they have all the needs covered as far as drones are concerned. So, you know, why should they go ahead and put out another drone at this time? You know, and it just leaves a lot of room for thought as far as that's concerned. And I'm going to pose an opposing thought here. All right, maybe some other players can step into it, and I'm talking about two of these players here. Parrot. Now, if you're recently aware, you know, Parrot came out with a thermal, and they also recently signed a contract with the United States government to produce drones for the U.S. Army. So that's huge for Parrot. I mean, that's a big winner. And, you know, and as we talked about this, and I know Ethan might want to chime in on this too, if you're still in the chat, Ethan Mitchell, you know, there's been a resurgence of interest, you know, and my two co-hosts both can attest to this. And, you know, I know Billy Kyle as well, you know, in recent purchases of the Parrot Anafi. And, you know, people are finding out that, you know what, you don't have to have obstacle avoidance to make it a great drone. And it is a great drone, folks. If I had the cash on hand, you know, that would be sitting behind me as well at this point, because I think that's an exceptional drone. I've spent quite a bit of time flying it, and it is just it's a real treat and a joy to fly. What are your thoughts, Ron?
You know, tend, you know, to, you know, again, I don't know if there's a Nafi version 2 coming. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting if it was, but you know, again, back last summer, we may not have a DJI Mavic 2 Zoom if it wasn't for the Anafi, right, Bill?
Yeah. You know, they, you know, and this is the story. This is what I've heard, and several people corroborated it, that they were only coming out with DJI Mavic 2 Pro, and that was it. Okay, it was going to have the camera on it and everything, and the Anafi was announced with the zoom on it, and DJI said, "Time out." Okay, we need to get one out here that has a zoom capability. We can't let Parrot take that market, and that's why we had the delay from July was supposed to be the release, middle of July, to August 23rd. You know, it was a release that they had time enough to go ahead and get, you know, put out two different drones, you know, having one with a zoom capability and having one with the, you know, with the 1-inch sensor capability. And that was huge. I mean, you know, and everybody said, Anafi who, you know, Parrot what? After the Mavic 2 came out, that was just all the talk last year, and in through the better part of this year too. But, you know, it's like Parrot comes out with the Anafi thermal, and it's a very affordable option for EMS, fire and rescue, search and rescue type organizations, especially ones that can't afford to, you know, to get Mavic 2 Enterprise thermal. Right. Or the Mavic 2 Enterprise. You know, it's an affordable option, and it got people back up and noticing Parrot again and saying, you know what, let's take another look at that. And then, you know, I know you got one, and I know Marcus got one, and Billy went back and got one. And you know, I know Billy's raved about it. I've heard him say so many good things about it, as well as you and Marcus have as well. So, you know, it's really garnered some attention. And I'm going to throw another name into the mix here, Autel. Okay, you know, the Drone DJ just had an article out about being the best drone under $1,000 in the United States right now, and you know, I would have a tendency to agree with that. I've flown the Evo, and I can say it's a treat to fly. It really is, and it has something that no other drone has here. You know, under $1,000, 4K at 60 frames per second. You know, that's a great feature. You know, and I know, and if you want to see the best reviews on it, bar none, the Autel Evo, go to Ken's channel. I know I'm sounding like I'm plugging your channel like crazy tonight, but no, Ken has done some fantastic reviews on the Evo. You know, you'll hear it straight from Ken. You won't, you know, he's a lot like Brian. He tells you like it is. And he's had a love-hate relationship at times with Evo, but it's been a solid drone for him, and he uses it in his business. So he just put out a video 1 year. Go check out that video. He did a great thing. What are your thoughts about Autel, Ron? Do you think, they're poised to be able to jump in DJI's absence here and be able to do something?
Well, I mean, they again, like almost all DJI competitors, they missed the boat when they came out with the Evo. I mean, they came out. They if they came out with a 1-inch sensor on that thing, they'd have been, ahead of DJI. They'd have been in front for a while. Where they chose to more or less match the Mavic 1, which was current at the time, but they upped it with the 60 frames per second on the 4K, but it wasn't enough. If you're going to go against DJI, you got to strike. You got to hit hard first. You can't just come in with with a comparable product. You've got to come in hard. But Bill, let's play a game, and I want the chat to play along with the game too. Okay, Bill, I want you to name the top 5 drones. This is your list. Personal list. Okay, you got to say under $1,500. So we're not talking Aspires or whatever. Got to be under $1,500. And the drone has to be available to buy new from a major retailer today.
Okay.
You can't say something that's, I'm trying to think of something in my head that you have to buy off eBay. The drone has to be currently available from a major retailer right now as we're speaking. So I'll give. Well, I know you're going to be easy because you're going to know the first couple, whatever. But what's your chat? I want you to put your list of your top 5 drones currently available for purchase today.
Okay, that's a great, and Ron qualified that really well. Current available for purchase, not eBay. Okay, you can go to a big box retailer or the manufacturer themselves and buy it. Okay, number 1, Mavic 2 Pro. Number 2, Mavic 2 Zoom. All right. Number 3, and I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to say the Autel Evo. Okay, for all its shortcomings and everything, it's still you get a lot of bang for your buck with that. Number 4, without a doubt, the Parrot Anafi. Okay. Now, number 5, that's kind of for me, I'm gonna say this now, and it's not, I was gonna mention one, but it's not available anymore. So, I would say that's a tough one, that last slot, and to fill that last slot right now, to have one go in there.
Philip, Bill, and then I'll let you say it. I'll let you throw an honorable mention of something that's not available after you give your top 5 today.
Okay. Well, you know what? I will say this: the Mavic Air, even though it has its shortcomings, and I know the shortcomings because I personally had 3 weeks flying a Mavic Air. I know all the shortcomings of it. Even with all those shortcomings, okay, the portability factor and having a 4K camera cannot be beat. Okay. And that's the reason we ended up getting, when we had our fundraiser for art last year, I took a lot of input from a lot of people as far as what to get him for a portable drone, and it by far won out. It was, and he loves it. It's so easy. And if you know the difficulties that Art has just being able to get out to fly a drone, he told me personally several times, and I've talked to him by phone, he's told me how much he appreciates that and how easy that is for him to get out there and fly that, okay? Because it's a real chore for him. He is a dedicated drone pilot, without a doubt, and it makes a difference for him. So those are my 5, Ron.
Okay, I'm going to go to the chat room here. FSU Grad 03 said the Mavic Pro Zoom, the Autel Evo, the Anafi, the Mavic Air, and the Fimi X8. John Coopy said the DJI Mavic 2 Pro, the Autel Evo, Parrot Anafi, DJI Mavic Air, and DJI Spark. Brad Hindu said the Mavic 2 Zoom, the Mavic 2 Pro, the Anafi, the Evo, the Mavic Original. There you go, Bill.
Okay.
Bill, this is Bill.
Original Mavic.
He was talking about the Mavic Pro Classic, that it's still a good drone and it still ranks high. And he said you can still get it from DJI as a refurb. So I guess, can we count that?
Yeah, we can count that. Yeah, absolutely.
If you count the DJI Mavic 1 Classic, how's your top 5 look?
Okay, well, there may be, I may switch. I may drop that Mavic Air and put a Mavic Pro Classic in there in its stead, because I just went back. I did a little expedition. I was looking for my videos that I shot with the Mavic Pro Classic. Okay, and I was like, I couldn't find them on my hard drive, and then I remembered it hit me like a light what I did with them. Okay, those are long. I have them on a backup drive, but the actual videos I put them out to my personal channel. It's called Bill's Adventures in Life, in case anybody ever wants to find it. But those videos are out there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look back, and I got some clips, and I'm going to put together a couple of videos. Now, I did, my first flights with the Autel Evo, the Autel X-Star Premium, excuse me, and then the Mavic Pro Classic, and some very interesting things, especially the first time flying the Mavic Pro Classic. And I'll put a video together and share my thoughts on that. But the one thing that kind of gets to me, Ron, and looking back at those videos and looking at the ones now, how much sharper and clearer the images are, and how the colors just pop. Because I didn't do anything with the settings back in the day. I mean, I really didn't touch a whole lot, if anything at all. And the Autel X-Star Premium was really kind of almost always a little on the darker side as far as colors were concerned, as far as brightness was concerned. The Mavic Pro Classic, it had, the colors were a little muted on it. It wasn't as bright and as vibrant as the Mavic 2 Pro is, but still the image quality on them can't be beat.
And the Mavic Pro 1 Classic has the what's the color profile that I'll bring Ken up? That Ken loves, Decine-like.
Yes, Decine-like. Yes.
And the Mavic 2 doesn't have the Decine-like color profile, which I was a big fan of the Decine-like color profile too. And I'm a big fan of the Mavic 1. I'm ranking it probably like you. In fact, it may be like number 4 for me or whatever. But the Mavic 2 Pro, I mean, it is considerably better, though. I hate to say it. I mean, when you could just put it in, that just the regular settings, not even, D-Log or whatever. I mean, it looks so good unedited, just straight off the camera. If you're the type of person that likes to fly and not edit your video, just put the Mavic 2 Pro in the standard color, and it's incredible.
It is.
It is. And I'm not trying to be a fanboy or whatever, but it really is special. And I mean, but getting back to I may say the Mavic Pro Classics video is better than my Anafi. And I love the Anafi. I think it's great, but I don't know if it's any better than the Mavic Pro Classic. And
I agree with you, because the Anafi's huge feature, is how extremely portable it is. And I mean, how you own one, how compact that is, even compared to the Mavic Pro Classic. And I think that's what the big selling feature for that is that 180 camera. I mean, now that provides an incredible perspective on things that you can't get from any other drone.
Zoom. I mean, the zoom at that price. I mean, it's not 2 zoom, but it's less than half the price. And you forget the feature. It may not have the 4K 60 video, but you know what the Anafi has? It has a 21 megapixel camera.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, most of them have even the Mavic Classic has a standard 12 megapixel camera.
Well, one of the big things that I told people about the Spark, I think Bill Thomas will echo this as well too, because I know I've heard him say this, and I know he'd agree with me on this statement, is, the videos are okay, but I'll tell you what, the still photos from the Spark can't be beat. I think they are just absolutely exceptional. Now I know a lot of people don't, I have a tendency, when I'm up there, especially now lately I'm flying, I haven't taken a lot of stills, but I did with the Mavic or with the Spark when I had that up for my daughter's wedding, and some of the stills that I got, Ron, were just priceless. I mean, it was just incredible. The detail in the color just was very vibrant. So, that's one of those drones that, I think, if you're looking for a good starter drone, the Spark obviously is one, but especially one that's going to take great stills. It can't be beat. It really can. It holds its own weight with some of the big boys.
You remember a video Billy Kyle, I keep saying Billy, but Billy Kyle, he made a video, I'm going to say last summer, where he took all his drones up. He took the Inspire up, the Phantom Pro, what am I trying to say? Phantom 4 Pro, can't spit it out. Mavic, the Mavic Pro Classic. He took 4 or 5 top level drones up. He took pictures with all of them. And at the end, the Spark compared favorably with drones that cost much more money than it did. You remember that video, Bill?
Yes, I do.
It stacked up.
I do.
Even like the Inspire, the pictures. Now the Spark only has JPEG, where like the Mavics have, you could do shoot raw on that too. But most hobbyists, they just take the JPEG anyway. So
yeah, that's that's what you're going to use with a still photo anyway. And just being able to, that's why I took the Spark up at the time, because for me, I had the Mavic Pro Classic, and it was going to be bigger fitting in my bag than the Spark was. And the Spark was easy to put in my carry-on. I mean, it was like, and I had, everybody talks about what should I do when I go through TSA, I put everything in the bin, let it roll through. I had no issues. There was none, everybody's like all bent out of shape and stuff. And I'm just like, put it in the bin, let it go through. Everything was out there. They saw it. No questions asked. Done deal. It was easy. It was just a piece of cake as far as that's concerned. So,
Bill, we got a question in the chat room. Hero, can you pronounce his last name? He's asking, is the Anafi better than the Mavic Air?
Yes, that's a good question. Hiro Yamamoto. Hiro, thanks for joining us tonight. Wow. I mean, I would say portability wise, I think they're about equal. I think camera wise, you'll probably get a better camera on the Mavic Air. And you're going to have that obstacle avoidance and obstacle sensing on the Mavic Air that you won't have on the Anafi. So that's a tough call, but I think the camera kind of makes the Mavic Air, I would say, the better drone. What do you think, Ron?
No, I mean, I've never had the Mavic Air. I've never flown one. I've only seen one. You've had hands on with both of them. I mean, you didn't own the Anafi, so you didn't get to take it home and study the video and pictures over. What outside the 4K 60 on the video, what makes the Mavic Air camera better? Is it specs?
Yeah, I think the specs on the Mavic Air camera are a little better, and
they're using the same standard sensor size at 1 and like 2/3 size sensor. It's the same sensor they all have. Now, how many megapixels does the Mavic Air have?
That one I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying the Mavic Air is not better, but I don't, specs. I know Billy said that the photos coming out of the Anafi are really good, but they have to be corrected. They have some sort of like a distortion to them that it's easily fixed. Kind of like the Mavic 2 Pro. Remember the video had a distortion that had to be fixed when it first came out.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Here's what we need. We need to get Billy on Sondheim and ask him.
Yes, we do.
How the stills and videos compare, since he has both and loves both.
He's I'm gonna be pinging him probably. Billy, you're gonna be hearing from me shortly if you're watching. Because we'd love to have you.
I want to be too, Bill.
Ron and Marcus and I would love to have you on Tuesday night Rotor Talk Live. I think that would just be absolutely fantastic, and kind of pick your brain, especially about these things. And that's one thing. That's one thing I really like about Billy and Billy's channel is Billy takes a deep dive into the details. Okay, and especially when it comes to videography and cinematography and photography, and Ken Dono does the same thing too. Billy really lays it out, and he makes it so you can understand it. And that's one thing I really like about Billy and his channel and his tutorials. He explains things very clearly and in great detail. And he doesn't leave anything unturned as far as that's concerned. So I think, Droneless Summer, that's probably what we're going to be facing. Possibly. We don't know. We don't know what's coming up around the corner. So, stay tuned to us. Stay tuned to Ron's channel, to Marcus's channel, Billy's channel, Ken's channel. I'm about everybody on YouTube, because most of the people that I know of, the channels that I watch, they put out great quality content. And I also want to give a shout out. I know Marcus will like me, and Sean will like me. I want to give out a shout out to Drone Seekers. We had Sean on a couple of weeks back on Rotor Talk Live. It was a pleasure and a real treat to have you on, Sean. I wanted to give a shout out to you. So if you haven't checked out Drone Seekers, please do so. They are a fantastic group of people. They absolutely, totally love drones. That's what they're all about. And again, it kind of reminds me, Bill Thomas, he loves drones. That's what it's all about. Also, before I go, and I want to mention this before I forget, Spin Up 2019, folks, we got to, if you want to go, that fee goes up each month as you're looking to get down there. So they're going to have some great speakers. I know Hey Kestelou is going to be there, and I know Jason and Shapper, and I probably botched his last name. He's Remote Pilot 101. He's going to be a speaker there. Great people. Jason runs a great organization. Remote Pilot 101 is probably the best, if not best, course you can take to get your Part 107. And like I said, Hey Kestelou, I've met him personally. I've had him on the show. He's a great guy. So, those are the ones that are confirmed to speak this year. And of course, Kelly, who want to turn down a chance to get around and hang around Kelly a little bit. Kelly is just absolutely fantastic. He's a great friend. Absolutely love spending time with him. It's going to be a great time. So definitely you do want to check that out. So Ron, I'm going to give it to you for any closing thoughts that you may have before we wrap things up here.
Thank you, Bill. I just want to, the chat room has confirmed that the Mavic Air is a 12 megapixel camera.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we got that down. I want to thank you so much for having me on tonight, Bill. This was a great show. We had a lot of fun tonight. I want to do a couple promos. I want to shout out Drone Therapy tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. John Coopy will be returning after missing a couple shows. John and I both moved recently, and I missed a show. I think John missed 2 shows, but we're both back tomorrow night. So tune in, don't miss it. And then you have your show on Sunday that you already spoke of. That's at what time Eastern Standard Time, Bill?
It's 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
Sunday afternoon Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget, if you missed his interview with Sally French, don't forget to go back and watch the replay. And then Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Marcus will be back, and we will host another ZinoNation, and the special guest will be Al Duran of Anafi, who has done a lot of great reviews on the Zino. He was on episode number 1, which Bill was on with us that night, and he has also picked up the FIMI X8 recently. So him and Marcus can talk about compare the FIMI. That's the higher level FIMI. That's the one that kind of compares favorably with, say, the Mavic Pro Classic. So it's going to be a great show. And I hope everybody gets a chance to get out and fly. I know it seems people all over the country are hindered by bad weather, rains, wind, and so on. But I want to get out and fly. I've only flown like once in the past 2 weeks because I do nothing but move and unpack boxes. But I hope to get back out there. I want to do a full review of the Anafi. I've had it for a while now, but haven't got a chance to fly it much. But okay, let me stop talking here, and we'll throw it back to Bill to close this one out for the night.
Ron, thanks again. Thanks so much for being here. And again, if you're looking for our other half of ZinoNation, he is in Vegas this week on vacation with his wife and visiting family. So Marcus, we have a shout out to you in Idaho Quadcopters. Do check out Marcus's channel. I will have links in the description, and I'll probably up at the top for Ron's channel, for Marcus's channel, for ZinoNation. I'll get a link for Spin Up in there as well, so you guys need to check that out. And don't forget Drone Therapy tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be a great time with Bill, with Ron, with John Coopy. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. Don't forget about this Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm going to be talking to Ian. He runs Remote Pilot 101 Light Company over in the UK. So we're going to find out about how things are in the UK as far as rules, regulations, and so forth are concerned. So that's going to be real interesting. Also wanted to make you guys aware of this, and I don't know if you've seen this. You may have seen, Podbean, and I had put out some information about that. Well, I have a podcast, and it's on Podbean. It's Bill the Drone Reviewer on Podbean, and that's BEAN. You guys need to check it out. What I've done is, for example, my episode with Sally French, I've just put that out there as a podcast, okay? So you guys can enjoy that. One of my more popular ones that I do each week is, most of you know, I'm on Canadian Drone Hub sometime, usually on Saturday morning about 10:30 Eastern time. Talk to Roger, to John, to Val. Paul is usually on. Basically it's a DJI update, but we also share some other things as well. And I will go ahead and put that, my portion of the time that I'm on there, I'll put that out there as a podcast as well. They've been very popular. They've been downloaded a lot. And if you're the kind of person, you don't have time to on the way to work where you can't really watch something but listen to it, podcasts are ideal for that. So I encourage you guys to check it out. It's free. There's absolutely no charge. I'm on both on iTunes and on the Google Play Store as well. So, but Podbean has its own app that you can use. It's super, super easy. It can't be any easier. And again, this is something I enjoy doing and putting that out there. So if you guys, I highly encourage you to check that out, especially, if you're working out, doing things around the house, in the car, it's perfect for that. Okay. I'm off my soapbox about Podbean. I just want to make you guys aware of all that. Also, I'm going to be doing, I got some reviews coming up. We're going to do one on the Smart Controller with the SD card, because I've been getting questions about that. And I know, Ron will appreciate that as well. I'm also going to be going back and taking a look at my first two drones at the Autel X-Star Premium and the Mavic Pro Classic, and showing some of my first videos with that and talking about that. So I got some videos coming out about that. Also, some more with the Osmo Action. I'm having a blast with it. It has just been absolutely fantastic. And by the way, you need to see, Aldrin just put out a video today, Flight Path, about some great vlogging accessories for the Osmo Action. So definitely check those out. I saw that video today and left a great comment for Aldrin, because he has some perfect accessories for that. So
hey, Bill, just before you sign off, we didn't get into the Osmo Action. Did you see in the last week or so that the GoPro Hero 7 was on sale like for $329 for a while, and then somebody had the Osmo Action on sale for like $299. So the price war that we predicted has already started.
It's already started on that, and I'm going to be coming out with one of the things that now they did have real quick, the Osmo Action, there was a firmware update, and it took care of the issue where if you were filming long segments that the sound was out of sync towards the end. They fixed that issue. And also, if you were watching your video on your Osmo Action, at times it would just stop and the camera would shut down. Both of those got fixed. The big firmware update we're waiting for is the sound adapter. So that's one thing I'm crossing my fingers that, because I'm going to be using that for when we go up to Ohio to vlog our grandchild. So that's going to be fantastic. So
real fast, speaking of updates, the DJI app got an update within the past week. Do you know if it changed anything substantial?
I don't think so, Ron, because I hadn't heard a lot about it. I don't think it was substantial. I think it was.
Did Smart Controller get updated also?
No, there was no update for the Smart Controller.
The app definitely got updated about a week ago.
Yeah, I need to take a look at this because there was a reason for the for the update, but it kind of slips my mind. I saw it and then I saw it wasn't.
And let me back up a minute. I can confirm it was an update for iOS. I don't know if there was an Android update.
Okay. Yeah, I have to take a look and see. Now, my iPad, I have my updates do automatically, to the apps there. So, it may have already been updated. As far, it's kind of transparent to me with that. So,
right.
you know, as far as that's concerned. So
throwing all this stuff at the end, but we want to pack as much information as we can in for our viewers.
absolutely, absolutely. You know, we're hopefully next week, you know, Marcus will be able to join us, and you know, we'll have the crew back here, and hopefully, you know, we might find out it might not be a droneless summer, but you know what? Go out there and fly and enjoy the drones that you own right now. You know, we have a great hobby here. Let's enjoy it, and let's continue to do things to promote drones for good. And remember, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.